I want to say thank you to you and Ina and the George Washington University Center for Excellence in Public Leadership for this wonderful opportunity to connect with wonderful people across the world and to just share a little bit what's in my heart today. So welcome everyone. I see some friendly faces, see some names I know, some that I don't, but I'm so excited to be a part of this community today. Why was it important for me to share on gratitude when the call came out for some topics to bring a community together? And there are many reasons why gratitude is important to me, but this is the way I've been living my life for some time now. As I wasn't going to share really a story, but Katerina provoked me to thought, and I just want to share a little bit. For my family who's on the call, they know this story. Try to make it a long story short, but some years ago, I was very sick with double pneumonia. And of course, you know, that's on my mind these days with the COVID-19. And so I'm staying in the house. And I almost died, was very, very close to death. And all of my doctors said to me that they didn't know what to do for me, that it was going to be my faith and it was going to be my own positivity that would help me through that trying time. That was in 2005. And I started then a real practice of gratitude because even though I could think of a lot of things that were terrible, a lot of things that I wanted to moan about and did sometime moan about it, I also had to think about the things that I was grateful for. And I never forget, after being out of work 8 months, and returning to work, I got on the elevator one day and a young lady got on with me. And at this time, I'd gotten really sick again in 2009. So now I'm back to work after 8 months and I'm carrying an oxygen tank. I have an oxygen tank with me 24/7. And this young lady got on the elevator and she looked at me and she said, "Do you mind me asking you why you're carrying an oxygen tank?" So I told her, long story short, that I had been diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune disease, which affected my lungs, and I needed the oxygen. So she looked at me and she said, "All I've done since I got up this morning is complain. Now that I've seen you, I'm not complaining anymore today." Now, I know that helped her, but it helped me. Because even though I may not have been saying anything out loud, I sure had lots of conversations with myself. Why me? Why am I on oxygen? Why do I have to come to work with oxygen? All of those things. And then I remember what my doctor said to me in 2005 about gratitude. And then when I went through my coaching certification, it came up again. So thus, it made me really get in a place of living my life in gratitude. And so what's happening today in our world globally around the coronavirus, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety. It's not just about the virus, it's about how are we going to live day to day. It's about our families that we're not able to touch. We know families, including our own, who've had death in the family and have not been able to do proper goodbyes as a result of what we're living in. The media bombards us with all of the things that are happening. We hear more of the negative than the good sometimes. We know people are overcoming through the, who've been diagnosed with the virus. But we hear more about those that are dying than those that are living. And so Something happens in our bodies when we hear bad news over and over and over again. And so I want to invite you, if you have something to write with, I want you to be prepared because I'm going to ask you to do an exercise. But I want to start with the poem that I found that spoke so well to me during this time. Can everyone hear me okay? The name of the poem is Be Thankful, and it's written by someone anonymously. Be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. If you did, what would there be to look forward to? Be thankful when you don't know something, for it gives you the opportunity to learn. Be thankful for the difficult times. During those times, you grow. Be thankful for your limitations because they give you opportunities for improvement. Be thankful for each new challenge because it would build your strength and character. Be thankful for your mistakes. They would teach you valuable lessons. Be thankful when you're tired and weary because it means you've made a difference. It is easy to be thankful for the good things. A life of rich fulfillment comes to those who are also thankful for the setbacks. Gratitude can turn a negative into positive. Find a way to be thankful for your troubles, and they can become your blessings. Through this life interruption, we can find many treasures, blessings, and opportunities that are coming. Like this, get a wonderful opportunity to connect with all of you. So I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And after your deep breaths, I want you to write 3 things that you are grateful for, that you have gratitude for. So I want to just lead you in the exercise of taking 3 deep breaths. And I want you to close your eyes as we do this. So 1, I want you to inhale real big. And exhale. 2, deep breath. In, let it out. Number 3, big inhale. And slowly exhale. When you're ready, open your eyes. I want you to take maybe 2 minutes and write down, or you can think about it, 3 things that you're grateful for in this time.
So for folks that just joined us, we are taking 2 minutes to think through 3 things that we are deeply grateful for. And we'll restart in just a moment.
Thank you very much. And I want to share a few more things, and afterwards, those who would like to share, I would like to give you an opportunity to share the things that you were grateful for, that you wrote down and you thought about. The title of this message today is What Gratitude Can Teach Us in Times of Crisis and Suffering. The thing that's really been on my mind is that I know
I'm so sorry. There is some feedback coming from your audio. Do you think try muting and unmuting yourself again?
Okay. Is this better?
There's still a little bit of feedback. Vanessa says it's not coming through, the sound is not coming through clearly. Perhaps let's have you exit and re-enter the room. And in the meantime, we can have folks share perhaps one of the things that they wrote down.
Yes, let's do that.
So who would like to volunteer saying something at this time? One of the things you wrote down, what are you deeply grateful for at this time?
Katarina, this is Vinay. I wrote down just togetherness, that we're all here together today in this wonderful conversation.
Togetherness. That's beautiful, Vinay. Anybody else?
This is Daphne. I wrote down similar to Vinay, but closeness to family, being able to spend more time connecting.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Ivana. I'm just so grateful for peace of mind and just being at ease even in this time of crisis.
Peace of mind. Beautiful. Personally, for myself, this has been an experience a time to discover deeper purpose, to serving others. This is one of the things that we've been trying to do through this Covida initiative. Anybody else?
This Michelle. I said that I was grateful to have the opportunity to be able to telework with my job and keep my job, and work from here and still be paid comfortably as well. And of course, hanging out with my kids and my husband. We actually eating lunch together every day and dinner. So it's kind of different and fun.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, it is.
And Samantha, thank you for sharing the poem with us. You can see that in the chat box. Anybody else wants to say something that they're grateful for?
Hi, can you guys hear me? This is Charma.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Charma.
Hi. I am grateful for good health. I have some family members who are sick, and just like Cheryl said, at this time, you can't go visit. If there's a funeral, you can't go. So that's really, really tough. Right before all this happened, I left work, drove to Canada like a crazy woman, then drove back before the borders were closing. So it was a family emergency and it's still going on, but I don't know if I can make it back if things don't work out like I would like for them to. So I'm grateful for my own good health because without that, nothing else is really gonna go on. I am also thankful, like Michelle said, for the opportunity to telework because not everybody has that opportunity and are able to do that. And I'm grateful for my family. My son is here, my little technical wizard, helping me to get on and stay on. So even though he's driving me crazy, he's also of a great help and benefit to me as well. So I'm grateful for all of those things. Thank you guys. This session really is awesome.
Thank you, Sharma. So I see a few people responded by chat. So grateful for my faith during these times, right? Right. Oh, I don't know if I can get the name right. Thaddeus. I hope I said that right. Cheryl?
I'm back. Is this better?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
So I'm sorry I miss hearing some of the gratitudes.
So we said connection, we said faith,
Mm,
teleworking.
mm.
That was one of the things. Being together, togetherness. So those are just a few that came up recently.
Thank you very much. So I want to say a few words, and I want you to notice how they feel in your body when I say the words. And just want to show how when we're thinking of negative things versus positive things, how they connect to us. So I want to start with the word crisis. Time of intense difficulty, trouble, danger. Notice how that feels when you hear those words. Suffering, state of undergoing pain, distress, hardship. A couple of people tell me what you felt when you heard those words and you took them into your ears, into your body.
Well, when you first said crisis, I immediately thought of counselor and someone bringing comfort, someone offering assistance and aid to get through the trouble and the difficulty.
Good. I see someone wrote in the chat, wary. My heart started racing. Fear and anxiety. Anyone else? Now I don't want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. This is Chelsea. For about 2 seconds, will have the anxiety, and then I view it as an opportunity, like a challenge that I can overcome.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for growth through a hard time.
Yes. Thanks for sharing. Someone else wrote in the chat, tightness in the chest. So I want to use the words gratitude, thanks and appreciation, quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation, a return to kindness. And someone else wrote in, and I hear you in your chat, and We are feeling you, and we're not trying to be insensitive to your pain and what you're going through today. We are with you, and there are others of us on this conversation today that are dealing with some of the same things you are. So I want you to know that we feel you and you're in our thoughts. And thank you for sharing that you're grateful. Appreciate that. So share with me, those who would like to, how did your body shift? How did your mind shift? How did your feelings shift when you thought about the words gratitude, thanks, appreciation? See, someone wrote, feel calmer, peaceful, more confident. I felt my body relax. Anybody else want to share?
And I would also invite folks to unmute themselves and speak up as well.
Felt grounded, felt a sense of joy. Thanks for sharing in the chat. So if we stayed in a place of just going through this exercise and sensing it in our bodies, if we stayed in a place of anxiety and fear, how long could we live like that? I can imagine that. I know for myself, just in what I experienced as I share with you, just part of my story. Seems like it was taking me longer to heal, longer to even get better, staying in the place of anxiety and fear. But when I moved to gratitude, like being grateful for the inventor of oxygen tanks, because it gave me a mobility in my life. I was grateful because I could return back to work, even though I had to carry an oxygen tank. So I shift from feeling sorry for myself to being grateful. And then I even had some fun with it. I called my oxygen provider, and the oxygen tank goes in a bag. And so I said to them, I'm a fashionable woman. I need my oxygen tank bags in different colors. Do you have any colors besides black, green, and blue? And they laughed with me. They didn't have any other colors, so I had them to send me all three so I could switch up with my oxygen tank bags. And so even though it was a devastating time, I also, in gratitude, it brought a sense of joy and sense of laughter in my life. Research has shown us, and there's lots of research out there about gratitude and what it does for us. But it's shown us that gratitude boosts our positive emotions. It brings us in a place of being optimistic. And boy, do we need that right now. It brings us in a place of enthusiasm, of love, of joy, happiness. It protects us from destructive emotions. Protects us from destructive emotions. What are some of those emotions? Envy, greed, bitterness, resentment. And so we have an opportunity through gratitude to uplift ourselves and uplift others by switching from what we think about, by switching our emotions from being in a place of gratitude and thankfulness versus being in a place of envy. bitterness, or I would even add the word pity. And so during this time, we have an opportunity to uplift ourselves, uplift each other, uplift the world around us by us just walking in a place of gratitude. I want to stop and pause here a moment for anyone to share whatever on your mind or on your heart right now.
It's just a really good reminder. I remember going through some very serious personal crises and just living in a place of bitter angerness, ugliness, unforgiveness, just years upon years of that, and trying to survive through it is really debilitating and crippling. And so this discussion is just a very, very good reminder to just do our best to not fall prey to that, because it will take you down and keep you down for a very long time.
Yes, thanks for sharing that, Ivana.
I would like to share. My name is Celia Pascual, and I like to share that I'm going through a very, very difficult moment right now, personal, at work. And then today, I learned early this morning that my friend, one of my roommate from college, died in New York last night. She was waiting for a ventilator, and she died. And one of the gratitude is the air that we breathe. Someone said, without health, we have nothing, and there's nothing you can take without health. And one thing also that you said in the poem, be thankful for the mistakes you make, because it teaches you valuable lessons. And sometimes we are so, I'm talking about me, so caught up in the moment that we don't see anything else but just mistakes. I've been very hard on myself right now. I am, after being on my job for almost 19 years, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I was given a position. I don't know. I've been making a lot of mistakes and crying a lot, because I'm like, how am I going to learn this? But I need to be thankful for this moment, because it's building me, it's making me stronger, and helping me. I have a almost 17-year-old here with me, who's now we home all the time, and he's watching this. So I need to be grateful that in spite of the mistakes, I have the job, and I'm learning and doing the best I can. And for my friend and her family that she passed last night, and no one can say bye to her right now, and it is hard.
Yes. Thank you, Celia, for sharing from your heart. Sure, we all offer you condolences in this time. And I want to share with you something that I read just a couple of weeks ago, because I was thinking about loss and how to process it. And one of the things I've read that I felt was so good and was good for me was that to find something that you can remember the person by that brings joy to you.
Thank you.
And so I encourage you to do that. Something that you can find that brings joy about that person. And you can use that maybe in saying your goodbyes.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody else want to share? I'm glad that we're in a community today where Cecilia could share her pain with us, and she's not alone. Even though she's not there where the friend is, she's with a group of people today that empathize with her. So I'm glad this opportunity is here.
Thank you.
Another gratitude. So gratitude, even in the midst of difficulty, crisis, suffering, hardship, disappointments, regrets, can shift us to uplift ourselves to a different place. And so it's important to me, for myself, that I practice it every day. And I do, but in this time, I've been practicing it more, daily, several times a day. And I want to talk about some activities that we can do to help us on purpose to be thinking about gratitude. And I thought about something this morning. My dear daughter, who has had some suffering in her life, I was traveling and I found this beautiful stone. And I believe the stone had on it the word miracle or something like that. And as I was thinking about stones this morning, I just thought about how we could use a stone, we could use a scarf, we could use anything that when we touch it, it can transition us to a place of hope, a place of joy, a place of centering ourselves again to have hope. So one thing you can do is find that thing that could help you that could be a tangible reminder that I need to be in a place of gratitude, or that I need to stop for a moment and have a gratitude break. And so we can do, take a gratitude break, especially when a negative thought comes up. It's a perfect moment to stop and say, no, I won't dwell on a negative thought. I want to dwell on a positive thought. So before I share other ones, I want those of you that practice gratitude at any point in your life, if you have a gratitude activity or thing that you do, please share it with us.
Cheryl, for me, just looking for the positive. I'm sure many of us, all human beings, we go through suffering, and I know I have my share of suffering and trials and tribulations. When I look back in my life, I'm so grateful for them, because given that I know what pain feels like, it's made me very tuned to other people's pain and suffering.
Yes.
And I think it's deepened my compassion, which without my own suffering, I'm not sure I would have had. So when someone's in pain, I can pick it up so quickly. I don't know, I think it's a gift in suffering.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Thanks
I just
for
look for the
sharing.
positive.
Thank you, Vinay. That's beautiful. Anyone else? I'm sure you all have something that you should do.
This is
for gratitude.
Chandel.
Yes.
I just, for me, it's just, I try to humble myself, because I find that, humility, it extends to our relationships with others. So if we find that we can humble ourselves, it extends out to other people, putting them above ourselves, so that we're not prideful and full of self-interest. And because those are the things that tend to harm families and harm friends and other people, and it damages relationships, and and it just hinders coming together as a community and unifying.
Yes, thank you, Chandel, for sharing that. And boy, do we need that today, where we can humble ourselves enough to reach out to a neighbor, to a friend, which we're seeing happening today. If it's just a call, I have been thinking about people I haven't connected with in a very long time, and making a decision to connect through this time. Thank you, Chandel, for sharing that. Michelle, are you going to share something?
Yeah, I think one of the ways that I use to find gratitude in situations is I always try to find that silver lining. For example, like how we going through the hunkering down and this entire, and now we've been extended till the end of April. I actually try to find those little areas that might be a positive. So I try to encourage my daughters to see, okay, so we're here doing this. However, within this, there is this, you know, so I keep pointing out to them all the little things that they may not have noticed because, you know, they're getting a little bored and bouncing off the walls. But we try to find the little silver lining. And that's how I tend to live a lot, is always trying to find that silver lining. And I get criticized about looking through life through a rose-colored glasses sometimes, but it helps me to cope with some of the craziness and some of the things that I've had to deal with in my walk and in my pathway. And of course, always trying to find my higher power, my sense with my higher power and through Christ, and just see, you know, someone might say, what would Jesus do? And then, you know, and try to find a sense of peace and gratitude from within what he may do instead.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that. And I think it's important that we do help others find it, because people will say, well, what's the good in this? And it's great when we can be a good friend to help them to see the good. I just see my dear sister Pranitha just got in, and today is her birthday. And I just want to say happy birthday to you. I woke up with her on my mind this morning, and she's one of the things and people that I'm grateful for. Yes. So other things that we can do for gratitude. And I'm just sharing some of the things that I use. A gratitude journal. I started journaling when I was very ill. Boy, what healing did that bring to me. And thankfully to my dear sister Leona, she bought me lots of journals that I could fill up. And so I journal. And so that's one way that you can do. And I like to do it at the end of the day. I like to think about my day and think about the things, the surprises, the things that I was grateful for that day. And I write it down. Also, I like to dance. And so I do my gratitude dance sometimes. Well, I just put on some music and I just dance and dance and dance. And that shifts me to a place of gratitude and a place of being uplifted. Maybe you take a gratitude walk. Just take a few minutes to walk around in your house or outdoors or in your workplace, because I know some people are still having to go into their workplaces. And what about a gratitude game with your family? At this time where we're in the house, you know, we may not be living alone, or even if you live alone and you have friends that you can connect with virtually, doing a gratitude game. You know, what are you grateful for? What am I grateful for? And just as the conversation starts, you'll find yourself feeling uplifted and laughter will begin. And boy, do we need to laugh a lot in this time. Anything else come to your minds about the things that you do for gratitude?
Hi, one of the things that I've done in the past, and I probably need to revisit this with my kids, is the gratitude jar, you know, taking and writing on
Yes.
paper. So it's really similar to the journaling, but it's something you can do every day or once a month, you know, and kind of go back at certain times and revisit what you were grateful for.
That's beautiful, Ivana. Thanks for sharing that. And I see someone wrote, I like to walk the trails. Seeing nature helps me. Someone else wrote, like to count my blessings. I've been doing yoga in the mornings, and it starts my day with intention. That's beautiful. So it doesn't have to be hard work. It just have to be, I like that word, intentional. Because life gets in the way, work gets in the way, taking care of our families get in the way, taking care of ourselves get in the way. If we can look back and a whole week could have gone by and we didn't even take 2 minutes just to stop and think about what we're grateful for. So on purpose, intentional, I'm inviting us to think about the things that we can be grateful for. I have this saying that came to me some years ago. I am thankful for the things that I could have that I don't have. So there are many things we could have that we don't have that we can be thankful for.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
This is Sharice. I wanted to say, one, I miss you so much. And
Oh, Sharice, nice to see you.
nice to see you as well. Let me turn my video on. But I wanted to just say thank you for doing this. And another thing that I've been doing is really remembering the things that make me happy and make me feel good. And one of those things is music. So as I'm getting adjusted to teleworking, I've been trying to pick out my favorite songs that really, really make me feel good and listen to those more frequently so I can just, tap into those feelings that the music provides for me.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that, Sharice. Great to see you.
You too.
Music is a language all over the world. And so I love music. That's why I like to dance. And so all of us finding something that can uplift us and shift us during this time. And my hope is that these things will not be short-lived, that after the crisis is over, we'll just go right back to business as usual. I hope that this time has caused us to shift and be uplifted in ways that will last for a lifetime. I see someone else wrote that they have a gratitude playlist. That's awesome. Someone else wrote, I walk, run 3-4 miles each day. That's awesome. And so when we start to notice in our bodies, in particular, in our shoulders, in our chests, tightening in our bodies, just stop for a moment and just ask yourself, what's happening to me right now? Do I need to take a gratitude break? Do I need to do something that shifts me and uplifts me into a different place? So as everyone is managing during this time, what is it that gratitude can teach us in this time? How can we shift? How can we uplift? And not just ourselves, but those that are around us. How can we uplift children? How can we uplift parents? How can we uplift neighbors, families? Is there someone you haven't connected with in a long time, but when you think of them, you're grateful for whatever they've been in your life? Can you send a hello? I like someone wrote, sending a text or calling people, checking on them to let them know I'm thinking of them. Being kind to others, helpful to our neighbors. These are all the ways that we can share gratitude. One of the things that I read about gratitude was it's a return of kindness. So we can return kindness. I like this, slowing down long enough to listen to others. Listening is a gift. Sometimes we're so busy, we say we're listening, but actually we just heard what the person said. We haven't listened deeply to what's being said. So we're in a forced slowdown mode. And sometimes when things are back to normal, we need to intentionally put ourselves on a slowdown mode. I want to give this opportunity now for anybody who would like to share a thought.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm Chelsea.
Yes, Chelsea.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I've noticed that I've been seeing repeating number patterns recently. So when I catch that on my phone or on the microwave oven or something, I just pause and take a quick second to think of something that was good, thinking about a memory with a friend, thinking of something I'm thankful for that day. And that really helps to brighten my spirits.
That's great, Chelsea. Thanks for sharing that. I see someone else talks about deep breathing. Yes, a great practice. And so we have a few more minutes. And so I want to read the poem again. And I want you to think about it after we've talked about gratitude and after we've shared and after we've had time to think about those things that we're in gratitude of. Be thankful. Be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. If you did, what would there be to look forward to? Be thankful when you don't know something, for it gives you the opportunity to learn. Be thankful for the difficult times. During those times, you grow. Be thankful for your limitations because they give you opportunities for improvement. Be thankful for each new challenge because it would build your strength and character. Be thankful for your mistakes. They will teach you valuable lessons. Be thankful when you're tired and weary because it means you've made a difference. It is easy to be thankful for the good things. A life of rich fulfillment comes to those who are also thankful for the setbacks. Gratitude can turn a negative into positive. Find a way to be thankful for your troubles, and they can become your blessings. Thank you all very much for sharing today. I've been uplifted by listening to you, reading your comments, and I hope we all do our very best to stay in a place of gratitude and to spread that to everyone that you have an opportunity to connect with over these days. May your families be well and be safe, and whatever you find that you will go through over these coming weeks, that you be reminded of our conversation today.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Let me thank you, Cheryl, for with wisdom and a very positive example to us all at this time. And thank you to all of you for joining us today. I hope that you will continue to connect with us. We have a Facebook group called COVIDA, Social Medicine Group, mobilizing communities through leadership conversations. And we will continue having these daily Zoom meetups and sharing resources with each other as a way to stay connected and stay grateful throughout this difficult time. So thank you again to all. We're now closed for the day unless somebody has any last minute thoughts.